going to go over in depth my 200 meter freestyle at the AP race meet that I did a couple of weeks ago, and how I was able to go 146.40 long course meters in the 200 meter freestyle, and how that you can apply these things to yourself. And we're going to go over the land warm-up prep, the pool prep, and the actual race itself, analysing exactly what I do and how I can overcome nerves and the race mindset, just to help you in the future for your racing strategies, for any races that you come up. So for the land warm-up prep, I have a few things that I always do in my warm-ups that I do before training, but also before competitions and racing too. So I would usually do this, 30 minutes to 15 minutes before I get into the pool for my pool warm-up. It includes foam rolling, hockey ball, so really getting the hockey ball into the tight areas such as my lats or my glutes. Dynamic stretching, because dynamic stretching is super important to activate your body. We don't want to be doing static stretching, because static stretching is going to more like relax the body and help recovery. Before warming up, we want to prime the body as much as possible. So dynamic stretching, glute and core activations, and shoulder activations. Just like I said before, activating the body before we get into the pool will help your body warm up properly and help it get to a certain point where it can perform optimally, rather than your body not warming up in the correct way, and that will definitely hinder your performance. So things like foam rolling, I've got a video of me doing some foam rolling here. Usually it's going to be on my back, the foam rolling, or my legs and my quads, just to really help stretch everything out and loosen everything out first before we get onto activations. Again, hockey ball here, where I'm really getting into the tight areas such as my lats here, and then I'll also use my glutes into my glutes too, really putting my weight on the pressurizing the areas that are really tight. I loosen my body out first before we get onto the activations, so the foam rolling and the hockey ball first, and then I'll get onto the activations. I like doing it that way better than the other way around. So then we have some shoulder activations, as you can see here. We've got some band pull aparts, just really engaging that scapula, really engaging the shoulder area, so that when we come to swim, obviously our arms and our back and our lats are fully engaged. Swimming is going to hinder and create a lot of shoulder problems, and that's the most injury there is in swimming, is shoulder injuries. So really staying on top of this stuff, even in training, before your training sessions, is also super important. But again, before racing here, again, just doing some additional shoulder work. This is going to be just different variations of activating the shoulders. And then again, I do some glute stuff and core stuff, such as shoulder taps, planks, glute bridges, single leg glute bridges, things like that, of that nature. So this will last about 10-15 minutes, nothing too crazy. Then we get onto the pool warm-up. So the pool warm-up is a 400 easy swim, 450s body position kick and drill, 3 100s descend swim, and a 50 at 200 pace, and then 100 easy. So I'll go through this really quickly. So the 400 easy swim, again, warm-ups are about engaging. They're about warming up the body properly. You need your heart rate to be a certain level. So, you want it to be around 140 plus, just so that you're really actually warming up your body. We don't want to be going into warm up doing slow swimming and then that's it. So things like that, 3 100s descend and the 50 pace, again, helps the heart rate elevate. And a lactate should be around 3 to 4 lactate, and that shows that you're properly warming up, the blood's properly going around the body. So 400 swim just to loosen off. Then 450s body position kick and some drill, again, just to kind of engage and activate certain parts of the stroke. So body position kick activating the legs, and drill just activating a little bit of that catch position. Then 3 100s descend, this is probably the main bit. So I would start off, for example, for me, I'd start off on like a 110, then I would go down to like a 105, and then finish off like a 60 point, something around there. So you want to see that progression and that descend fairly big progressions. Again, you can descend it in different ways, such as a tighter descent. So maybe you go 110, 18, 15, something like that. Just a descent of some kind of nature where you're really, it's about a 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10 effort on that last descent swim. Then a 50 at a certain pace. So for me, it was the 200 pace because I was also doing a 200 meter freestyle. But for you, it could be 100 pace, 400 pace, anything like that. And then just a little bit of easy swimming. Then I obviously get out, chill for a bit, get my headphones on, get in the zone, warm up through, warming up my body from obviously being out of the water. And just kind of chilling out, and then 15 minutes before the race actually starts, or before I go to the call room, then I do a little bit more activation, such as a few jump variations, so squat jumps or counter movement jumps, and a little bit of explosiveness through the med ball slams, or something of that nature that you might do yourself. And then that's pretty much it before the actual race, and I pretty much do this every single time I race. The warm-up can vary depending if it's a final or a heat. In the heat in the morning, early in the morning, I might do a little bit more just to really wake up my body and warm up my body. But usually in the final, it would usually be something like that. So the actual race, the 200 meter freestyle race, I always have 3 race objectives before I go to race. So I know I've got these 3 things I want to do or I need to do. And this kind of helps with that nervousness and that worrying, anxiousness. A lot of people ask me how to, combat that. And, they always get too stressed or too worried. And I always say, do you know anything that's going to help you, relax and stay focused? And they're not too sure. They do breathing techniques, which is great, but breathing techniques almost makes you feel more worried and more anxious because then you're just thinking about that. So what I say to my members in my coaching is that we need to think of 3 race objectives, and this is something I do myself. And this just helps you focus on things that you can control, that you can do, because you can't control your competitors. You can't control about anything else about the race. It's only you and your lane. You can only control what you do. All your other competitors are going to be just as nervous as you. They're thinking probably the same things. It's just who can handle them better and who can put them into more focused areas. So for me, it was controlled my first 100, especially the first 25. Then I obviously wanted to build in my second 100. Then I wanted to do 3 underwater fly kicks each wall. And I wanted to try out my high elbow catch that I've been working on the past few months because my catch position was a bit lower and a little bit deeper. But I find that with a higher elbow catch position for me, I'm able to get more out of each pull, which is something that I've been working on in training. So I wanted to put that into a racing aspect so that I can see what it feels like during a race. Then again, the pacing I was talking about, controlling the first 100, then building into the second 100 and sticking to my own race plan. So as you will see in the minute is that everyone's really far ahead of me. I think I turned like last, or I turned like nearly last place, but I end up coming 3rd overall. And I was still sticking to my own race plan. So I could have rushed into that first 100 with everyone else, but I knew that I wanted to work the back 100. So I stuck to my own race plan, which is super important for you to take away, is sticking to your own race plan. I'm in lane 3 here where this arrow is, and then obviously we've got some pretty big names in this 200 meter freestyle. So it was a really great race overall, and I was just outside my PB, but pretty much on my PB, which is something that I didn't expect because it wasn't a focused competition for us and I wasn't tapered down for this. So this was a big surprise. Again, probably comes down to those 3 objectives I was talking about, really focusing on that, which was made me, able to actually get to this type of time overall. So here, obviously I execute my dive. I try and maximize this underwater fly kick so I can get to 15 as quickly as possible. Again, I'm really controlling this first 25. So as you can see, my stroke rate is a lot lower than some of my other competitors' stroke rates, but I'm really using that glide and really using that recovery phase in the stroke to help push me forward. Again, I'm just sticking to my own race plan. I'm trying to execute my turns as quickly as possible. Again, trying to do my 3 underwater fly kicks each wall. And at this point, I'm just really focused on controlling my stroke. I'm not rushing anything. I know that all these guys are going out quite fast. As you can see, they're all going out quite fast, but I wanted to stick to my own race plan because I could have went out this fast, but I chose not to and kind of hold back a little bit, conserving my energy. Again, just really trying to build my stroke rate now going into this second turn, and this is when I'm going to start building into this third 50 and into the second 100. Again, I'm not rushing into that part, I'm building into this part. So that's a thing that I see a lot of people do. When they push off the wall, they go straight into having a high stroke rate, or they rush that first initial part, which is going to use up a lot of your energy. So you want to build each 50 or build each 25 rather than just rushing into it after the turn. So you can see here, now I'm starting to build into, I'm increasing my stroke rate, I'm increasing how hard I'm pulling, and I'm just having a steady kick so far. As you can see, I'm starting to catch a little bit more because I'm increasing my stroke rate because I've conserved more of my energy. Again, trying to do and maximize that last underwater fly kick and last turn. And this is when everyone starts to really hurt in the race, and this is where the race almost begins. So you need to have that kind of energy in your tank to be able to come back super strong. And here again, I'm really increasing my stroke rate and really increasing my leg kick. And as you can see, a lot of people here are starting to hurt a little bit more. They're slipping a lot of water, and they're almost just trying to increase their stroke rate to deal with that slippage of water. Whereas for me, I'm increasing my stroke rate and trying to maximize that catch as well. And again, head down into the wall. I probably could have had a better finish. I was just a little bit long towards the end there. I could have maybe rushed in another stroke. Or timed it a little bit better. That was a quick overview of my 200 meter freestyle and how I was able to go that time. Obviously the training behind it and the skills and technique that I've been working on too. But this is more about the race strategy, talking about controlling the first 100, not exerting too much energy out of the wall in your first few strokes, really having a race objective. So 3 things that you're going to work on. As you can see, I executed those 3 things in that race. So I was super happy with the execution score and also the overall time as well. But usually sometimes, even if you execute the objectives really well, the time might not be so good, but you then have to reflect and say why. Maybe it's because of the time of period that it is in training, you're in a hard training block. And just really trusting your process and trusting your training that you've done to give you that confidence. Because a lot of people ask me about that nervousness and stuff, and I always ask about, have you got race objectives in play and are you actually focusing on that? So that was a quick video going over exactly what I did, leading up to the race, what I did in the race. Just so you can get a better idea of what the best people do in the world, so you can apply it to yourself too. And it might not look much different, it might look totally different, but yeah. If you've got any questions, just message me on Instagram and I'll reply to you on there, or again, just leave a comment of any questions you've got.